and welcome to New Thinkers. My name is Ollie Velasquez and we will be discussing temperaments today. When you look at a child and see them interact with the world around them, you see that every child reacts and acts differently. The reason behind this is because of their temperaments. Before becoming a mother, I had no idea what temperaments were. I thought our personality and our reactions were learned behaviors, but the truth is it's both nurture and nature that play a part of our personality. For the longest time, I thought I was doomed because I had learned certain traits from my mother that I did not like and thought, well, that must be because she's the same way. But deep down, I knew those characteristics were not my true personality. I was born with a different reactions and actions than my mother, and this is also true when it comes to our children. We can have similar temperaments, or what psychologists like call a goodness of fit. Or we can have a child that has a temperament that completely opposes our own. So what is temperament? Apparently to psychologists, it's broadly referred to as a consist individual differences in behavior that are biologically placed that are relatively independent of our own environment. What parents should take away from that is that children's behavior, aka temperaments, reflects how they will react to situations and how they express and regulate their emotions, regardless of the environment they are raised in. We'll be discussing different temperament styles and certain attributes that are correlated with them. We will go through the first temperament style, and which is called the easy flexible child. These children are mostly happy, adaptable, calm, and have regular sleep, and usually are non-picky eaters. For example, my child is an easy, flexible going child. She's very calm, very adaptable when I have to rush and go places because I'm always running late. She's very good about going to bed at the same time every night. She's usually very predictable and she rarely cries, which I'm very fortunate about. But she does cry about food and not taking a nap sometimes. However, for the most part, she is very content with our life and doesn't throw a lot of tantrums. We're able to meet her needs fairly easy, which I'm very grateful for. Temperament is the active child who is usually very fussy, fearful, and upset and has intense reactions and irregular sleep and can be very picky eaters. Most people usually label this child as a troublemaker, but they are not troublemakers. I just want to emphasize that they are not troublemakers. This child is always on the move and never stopping, is usually very focused and determined on the task at hand. They tend to get unsettled if they get out of the routine schedule and very unpredictable when it comes to sleep and eating. They usually have loud and abrupt temper tantrums, and they tend to have super intense reactions to certain things that happen around them, like a loud noise or if they're super excited about something. They usually are very picky eaters and do not like to try new foods or weird textures, especially mashed potatoes, just that child will not have it. Third style of temperament is the cautious child. They tend to be less active and withdrawn and negatively react to new situations. People usually see this as the shy child. These children usually do not like to try new things such as swimming or meeting animals like a horse, like a gigantic horse. These children, they tend to seek their caregiver when they meet new people. Usually they are not as vocal as the other two temperaments. They tend to enjoy spending time with themselves. They tend to have a more serious face in the day-to-day situations and like to observe things from afar. You to truly understand that there is no style of temperament that is better than the others. Each of them have their own advantages and disadvantages. Let me explain a little bit more. Someone with an active temperament may seek a leadership role such as a CEO or running their own business. With a cautious child, they may become a biologist or an engineer where they make decisions based on observation. With a relaxed child, they may become a doctor or a social worker who enjoys talking with people and communicating. Therefore, we don't need to change a child's temperament, but instead we need to accept them and adapt to their temperaments. We should also help our child understand their own temperaments and teach them methods on how to adapt their temperaments to react properly in different situations. Here are some ways we can adapt to each child's temperament. With a relaxed child, we can initiate communication about emotion. Also use language to develop awareness of emotions and reactions. Make sure they know their feelings and their preferences are recognized and validated. Encourage him to seek help when he needs it and help him communicate feelings and needs to others. Like, for example, if they're playing with blocks and this kid Jack takes his block and you can tell him, well, In the future, you could say, hey, I'm using that block, instead of, getting super angry. So they learn how to communicate their feelings. When it comes to an active child, you can try to be prepared and flexible and patient. Give them opportunities to make limited choices. Like, say, you are picking out clothes, and you can either choose from the red one or the blue one. It's still choices, but they're very limited choices, which is wonderful. You can engage in active play and expand on high energy levels. Like, say that you're in a house and they have so much energy and they just keep crashing into things and touching things that they shouldn't be touching. Well, you can get a ball and take them outside and throw the ball around and kick it around, and they can enjoy doing those kind of things, which gets all their energy out. You can also create an area that has a peaceful environment to help them calm down and transition from playtime to rest and nap. You can also use transition reminders, like giving your child a timer, as well as getting down on child's level and making sure the child hears and understands what will happen next. You can also label children's emotions. When you see them angry, you can say, hey, you look so angry. You really wanted that toy. You can also try not to react as strongly and stay calm with dealing with intense emotions, which I know can be very hard, and you might have to go to another room and do your own cool down place. Important to acknowledge their feelings and point out when they have been calmed, and so they can learn to recognize this. For a cautious child, you can try additional prep and support for new situations or people. Set up routines with predictable environments. You can use pictures and language to remind them what's next. Drop-off and pickups might also require extra time from you in order to support the cautious child. Extra time to meet new children or get comfortable in new situations. Encouragement and exploration and independence. For example, you could say, I'm here. I'll be right in this chair watching you try on the clothes. Understanding your child's temperament style can help you understand that they are not misbehaving, but instead they are acting according to their temperament. This can also be beneficial when creating a relationship between you and your child. Next week, we will define 9 traits of human temperament and how we can understand this so we can understand our child's certain reactions. I also wanted to add that I will be linking a temperament questionnaire so you can know exactly what your child's temperament is if you're a little confused. But for the most part, most parents should know exactly what their child's temperament is. I hope you enjoyed my video, and I hope to see you next week. Adios.